Minasan konnichiwa, Becky desu. Today I am building an epic teen center because in my main gameplay my oldest boys are about to become teens and I wanted them to have an epic place to hang out and meet Sims their own age. And so yeah, this is just a really epic build. My idea for this was an abandoned warehouse that the teenagers turned into a epic hangout, probably with their parents' money. And so as you can see, I already knew the shape of the basement that I wanted to do, but the main building itself I struggled with a lot. As usual with my builds, I always struggle with the overall shape of the building, at least initially. And for this building I wanted it to be really big, and I wanted the top floor to be really usable too. Like I wanted the whole space to be usable. And here I was trying to make a bit of a tower-ish side of the building with the spiral staircase, and I was trying to use the fencing to make catwalks, and this didn't really work out. I'm really not that great at implementing fences and stuff like that. I'm just really bad at building, I guess. But yeah, here I'm just struggling to work with these fences, and this goes on for a little bit. So yeah, working around the stairs and trying to get the fences to create a room where I can get rid of the flooring, and it just wasn't working out for me. But eventually you'll see what I do in the future. But yeah, so here I have completely given up on implementing the spiral staircase, so I was going to try to use the one that I had instead of working around it with the fences. So here I try to implement the catwalk all the way around the building. Spoiler alert, that didn't go too well either. And here I'm trying to decide on the different fences because for some reason I didn't feel that any of the fences really suited it, and then I just went with the one from the Get to Work expansion. And I decided to expand the catwalk all the way across the building and try to implement the whole building with that. I thought it'd be epic to have the teenagers or Sims walking across the whole length of the building. I just thought that'd look cool. But here I'm struggling to get the fences to make a room so I can remove the floor. So it's either I don't know how to use fences, or it's just not easy to implement catwalks into this game. But needless to say, this idea didn't work, and then I had the issue of that room just not lining up, and it just, yeah, the flooring just wouldn't go away, the rooms wouldn't line up. And it started deleting my walls, and then I ended up scrapping that entire idea, like you do. And I ended up moving the majority of the building, and I liked that back piece for some reason, and I thought it'd be cool to I had a thought to make it like a shed or like a garage that the kids renovated and turned into a hideout, but then I decided to add this entrance that I really like. I can't wait for you guys to see this. And here I'm just trying to decide on doors because I really wanted the entrance to be awesome, and at first I really liked this archway or doorway from one of the kits. And I still really like it. I did use it. I moved it later on. I really love these windows, how they're dirty, and how it just gives the place such character, and I love it. I really wish they had more windows like these and had broken windows. And I know this build would really complement the new werewolf game pack coming out tomorrow. But I was really inspired by that game pack. I'm really excited, so I decided to just build this ahead of time, and maybe I'll do an update once I get my hands on that pack. And here I'm trying to decide if I want there to be fences on top of the roof to give it the roof a bit of character, because I couldn't decide what I want to do with the roof. And then eventually I ended up consulting a reference of some abandoned buildings just to get the shape of the building that I wanted, because for some reason I really struggle to internalize the shape of a building in The Sims 4, even though I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do with it. But I just for some reason struggle to put it together. But here, this is the point where the shape of the building really starts to come out in the character, and I just love it so much. And here I'm trying to see if I can add extra windows to give it more like definition and more character, or see if there's any other windows that would work well with these windows. But I kind of struggle to find anything, and then randomly I decided I like these wood slats there. I don't know what purpose they serve or why they're there. They kind of look like grates, and maybe they could have been used for gardening. I'm not sure. But I also knew that I wanted to add a lot of piping, a lot of, like old technology. Like this place was it was really booming with a business or something and production, and so I wanted a lot of remnants of that. So I have these, what are they? I think they're are they gutter pipes or something? Some kind of pipes, but they look awesome. And here, and then these wood slats from the Snowy Escape pack. I absolutely adore these. These are some of the best detail makers ever, and especially that color with the texture is just so amazing. It just looks like the windows are boarded up, and it's just something that's been there for a long time, and maybe the windows just aren't as strong anymore, so they just added some wood slats to them to give the building a bit of security. And here I tried to decide if I wanted to put awnings over the front entrance, and here I really like the Batu ones, and I think I did end up going with one of them, maybe. I think we have to wait and see, but the Batu pack, say what you will about it, but that pack does have some really, really good items for building, and especially industrial rundown themes, and I just absolutely love it. So I decided to extrude the walls a little bit here to give it a little bit of definition and make the entrance a little bit set in. And I had this really awesome idea of implementing some lights into this, and you'll see in a bit. I'm so excited for it. And then I decided to go with a roof over the top here, and I was trying different shapes, but eventually I settled on that one, and I think that really suits it really well. And then just playing around with the colors, I really love the rundown look. Like, I just wanted to look like this place was here for a long time, and it's been abandoned, has been upkept, it's kind of falling apart. And eventually I decided to make the roof black instead of the orange, just because I want to go with a really dark, grungy look. And over here I'm trying to decide if I want some different windows over here or the same, and I think I decided to go with the exact same just because they work really well together. And then I had a hard time deciding on the windows for the front. Here I used the Batu ones, and these are the ones I want to implement a lighting effect, which you will see soon. I also couldn't decide if I wanted there to be a back door or not, and later I decided to use the kind of garage door, faux door that you can actually do graffiti art on. You'll see that in a little bit. Yeah, here I'm just playing with different doors, seeing what looks right, and then I adjust the stairs because I want to inset that archway and use a different door for the front. I really wanted that door that comes with from the same pack as that archway, and this is what I go with for the entrance. And then I implement the Batu windows there, and I'm playing with the different heights, trying to see what looks good. And then this back wall, I really have a hard time deciding what I want to do with it, so I just decided to work on the front more. And I really love these windows from Snow Escape Pack, and I decided to add them to the top, and I think they look amazing. Later on a little bit here, I actually switched a couple of them to the half open ones to make it look like the windows were kind of busted and there's like hot muggy air going into the building. And I just wish there was more like broken windows for this game. Although I guess I could have added some cracks from the Vampires pack. That probably could have gone really well with this, but I didn't think about doing that much detail. Speaking of detail, this actually ended up taking me 6 hours to build, and this video is probably going to be about an hour and a half long because I don't really want to break it into separate parts. So I'm thinking this could be kind of like a movie if my voiceover is good enough, which it might not be. You might actually hate my voice and may not want to watch the entire video, which I'll understand, but I'm trying. So here I decided to add the wood slats to the side too. I was trying to play around with if I wanted the same amount on each window or if I wanted to have it look different amounts, but I ended up going with the same, and I just add them all over to the other windows. And I was really trying to figure out where to put this wall thing, but I couldn't really find a place that looked good. And I tried to implement these wood things from the what's the pack called? The one with Evergreen Harbor, that pack. And I was trying to see how I could implement different windows, and then I decided I didn't like those wood things, and yeah, just trying to play with different textures and different looks. And here I found the pipe, so I tried to see if I could have those cover the window, and I didn't really like that. And then I'm kind of just playing with all kinds of different looks, and there I added vents to the entrance. And right now this looks like a very plain wall, but in the end it looks really awesome. And so here I'm just adding a whole bunch of different industrial looking decorations, trying to look like there's a lot going on in the back of the building, almost like that's where all the plumbing went or where all electrical stuff went, kind of like just where all of the technology and gobbledygook conjugated in this warehouse. And I should have added more of those caution signs and stuff. I meant to, but I forgot about them in the end. But yeah, here I'm just pulling out all of the different industrial looking stuff and kind of just seeing what I have to play with. And then these industrial beams, I guess, from the Get Famous pack, I think. Those were awesome on the back wall, side to side. Implement those to almost kind of make it look like that wall really needed all the support it could get. Because maybe the building is like crumbling. And then just trying to decide where all of these different things worked. And I really like this wall brace there with that. And here's where I start experimenting with the different garage doors. I was trying to see if it looked cool if there's a garage door on the back with that mural, and on top of that, and container door thing, but I ended up changing that anyway. And here I'm adding more of those Batu windows. I think those look really cool with those wall braces or wall supports, whatever you call them. And I tried to see if other windows would look good with it, but I ended up just going with those. Then I decided to implement them on the upper level as well. And here I'm just lining up the outside decorations with the windows. I really liked how it looked with all the decorations kind of lining up, but at the same time not really lining up, like it was kind of just thrown together. And a lot of the items, especially the decoration items, I've never really used before because I don't often go into a build this detailed. Like, I don't normally sit for 6 hours building something, but I really wanted to, and I'm really glad that I did because this is kind of epic. I really enjoyed myself with this build, so I'm really looking forward to making more. And if you guys, I'm planning on making a video detailing all about my Sims family, because I've never played a full Sims for that long to like have kids and how the kids grow up and get the different traits. And so this is my first time really sitting down and playing the Sims, and I have a really good family going, so I will be making an in-depth video about them and all of their stories, and I'm hoping to make future gameplays off of this family so that the children are kind of the main characters in those future gameplays. But if you guys would like to see a gameplay of my current family, I can definitely try and make that. But that's the only thing is some of my kids are about to be teenagers, and so I'm already kind of in the middle of the family, so it might be a little weird kind of playing catch up with the story, because I've already been playing on my own. But yeah, I'm looking forward to making a video on them. They're just my favorite family so far. It's been really fun. So I ended up adding the dumpster from the Evergreen Harbor pack. I can't remember what it's called. And I wanted to make it look like people have been kind of camping out there and like hobos or whatnot. And I found this magazine rack which I thought looked really cool, but I found that the books themselves don't change when you change the color of it, so I decided to just go with the one. I kind of just move it around the place, kind of trying to decide where I wanted to go. And then I added this satellite from Batu Which another thing I wanted to do was I wanted to add more stuff to the roof, but I forgot because I had been building this for 6 hours, so I was kind of losing track of what all I wanted to do with it. But I decided to add those signages to make it look like, no, this place was used for some storage, or it's kind of been converted into like a junkyard before the teens discovered it. And there's just a bunch of trash and stuff abandoned, and it just looks really awesome to me. So I'm playing with just different decorations, and here I'm playing with the building sets for the Get Famous pack, the ones that you use for like filming movies and stuff, and I really love this staircase here, so I definitely added that in there, and I actually adjusted the size of the whole building to fit that in, and I'm just so stoked with how well that fit with this build, because I was really struggling with deciding what I wanted to do for the inside of the building, and that just took up half of the building, and it was great. So that really adds to the whole look of it being, kind of really run down, and now it's just crumbling, and it's just covered in garbage and whatnot, and it's just cool. I love it. And then I didn't want to make the building any bigger, so I decided to add a couple pieces to the back to kind of just make it look like the building might have had another section to it, and it was just falling apart. Or pieces of other buildings ended up on this lot, and so I just added those crates to kind of hide the other parts of that piece from Get Famous. And then here I decided to just move the windows since I changed the width of the building. And I was really playing with how to get them to line up, because at this point the building's width was kind of different than what the windows were snapping to, so I kind of had to readjust everything there. I had to use a precise move objects to get everything to work back in there. I eventually got it, so it's okay. Then over here I decided I didn't want to go through all of that again, so I just ended up adding 2 more windows, which I probably should have done for the other side to make them symmetrical, but I decided to just do with that. I kind of like the asymmetrical vibe. Kind of like the building wasn't entirely built, at the same time or in the same way. It's kind of just thrown together. And I noticed that these Batu technology stuff was cutting through the ground, so I decided to move them to the upper floor. And here I finally play with adding the wallpaper stone to the outside of the building. For some reason I like to place all the items first and then decide on the whole wallpaper and color, and I decided to go with the new wallpaper from the new Little Campers kit. I absolutely love that kit. I love the stuff in it. It's so cool. Or actually, no, I actually changed it to the one from Die Now. I really like the grungy one. Yeah, that's right. I forgot I did that. Yeah, this is where the building really comes together, and I absolutely love it. Then I used the one from the kit on the inside. That's right. And then I struggled to decide what color I liked, and I ended up liking the dark one. I kind of just wanted this to look dark and grungy. And here I'm working on my light fixture. I just wait until it comes together. It's just so cool. I was struggling to find a light that would fit, that looked cool, or that had a color that I liked, because I was initially thinking about doing a red coloration, but I know you can change. I think you can change the color of the lights regardless of what light it is. And here I'm just playing around with the different lights, and I was really struggling to find ones that worked, but I like these ones from, I think it's base game actually. It's lights that you unlock from something. But here I'm playing around, testing it, and it looks cool, but not exactly what I want to go for. So then I wanted to play with the red, but that wasn't really hitting it either. Because I found that they weren't really that bright. And of course I love that kind of truck light there. And then I added some of those chains. Those kind of just came up randomly, and I was like, oh well, yeah, I'll have some chains. And here I'm adding a couple lights that I knew I liked to the basement. As I come across items I like, I kind of just start placing them randomly in the general area that I like them, just so I remember that I found something I like and I want this in this area. Even though I haven't been working on that area, I can just remember. And here I found the lights that worked. And let me tell you, this is so cool. Now they are a bit of a weird, they were a bit of a weird size, so I had to adjust the windows to that. And then I decided to add more windows and add the second one. And then I just walled that off. But just wait until you see this. Look at it go! Yeah! And then of course I decided to add ones on the front. And oh my gosh. Yes, look at it go! Oh my gosh, it looks so awesome! I'm so happy about how that turned out. And of course I wanted a rundown pathway to the door. Then I added some grungy dirt. Just make this look like it's been here for a long time and it's just dirty and water's been gathering around the bottom of it. And then I add some lighter to make the grass look a bit spotchy. And I started playing around with the flooring. I decided I like this one from the Silverado game pack. Why can't I remember these? And then I knew I wanted to have a little sitting area, so I decided to go with the kind of rundown leather couch and the one from Batu. Kind of just look like it's been abandoned furniture that's been repurposed. This build would really, really complement the new werewolf pack so well. And I had a hard time deciding which coffee table I liked. I really liked that one from the industrial kit. Or no, I think that one's base game. It might be from industrial, but it's an industrial looking one. But I ended up adding the jukebox. And that's where I decided to put the magazine case, and I wanted this fireplace. It looks like it's just been thrown together, and I just had more couches. then I love this newspaper from the cats and dogs pack, and how they had like different puddles on them just to make it look gross. And of course I had some paw prints there to make it look like animals been running around. I had some trash. I really should have went into the debug menu and added even more trash and stuff, but I was already so overwhelmed with just the items from the packs that you can just get from the regular menu that I kind of just forgot that there's a whole debug thing. So I really just went with what I had easily available, and I'm sure I'll get more in detail later on. And here I'm just playing with different rugs, trying to make this look really run down. I really wish there were more rugs that were torn and worn down, like with the Batu ones. I absolutely love those. Here I just decided to add a whole bunch of rugs to the basement, and I decided to add that furry one, make it look dirty with that tan color. I guess that really brings it together, and I really like that, the texture of that one. And then I finally started building the basement here, and here I know I wanted the bathrooms to go behind the stairs, and I wanted it to look like they were really like tucked in there and they just been there for so long, and I wanted there to be 2 entrances into it. So I decided to add a little tight hallway, and it's almost a little uncomfortable to walk through. I wanted you to go in there almost like, ugh, this is kind of gross, and you have to kind of like almost touch the walls on your way to the bathroom, and it's just ew. And I decided to add those doors from Get Famous with the little signs on them and kind of make it almost deter people from entering. And then those rundown doors from City Living. I really wish we had even more rundown doors, like just rundown dirty swatches of different doors. That would be amazing. And of course I wanted the bathroom to be all grungy and gross. And I think it has the same wallpaper as the outside of the building. Kind of look like, oh, they didn't even bother to change the decorations. It's just the same grungy grossness as outside. And of course I really like the new flooring from the new kit, the little campers kit. Yeah, I liked how it looked a little scratched, and then I added the puddles, kind of just make like that look like the bathroom has been broken and it's just been leaking, and the pipes have just been leaking. And then I discovered that the bathrooms weren't big enough for the bathroom stalls, so I had to adjust the size of the bathrooms there. And then I was trying to find the dirty ones, and I failed to realize that they were dirty on the inside. They were all drawn on in the inside of the stall, not on the outside. I was really hoping they looked dirty on the outside too. And I kind of discovered that only 2 fit in 3 fit in there. I eventually changed the amount of stalls because I wanted more decorations in it. And here I'm trying to decide on the sink, and I decided to just go with the plain one that looks like it's sticking out of the wall. I know the kind that's always like kind of gross when you use it, and like it's just really ew. Like it's never been cleaned. Then I added some clothing piles, kind of just make it look like someone's been living there and they just threw their stuff. And I decided to add some more decorations. And I was trying to decide on a mirror. I was really hoping there was a broken mirror, but I like these ones from, I think it was Parenthood, with all the stickers on them. Kind of make it like the teens were kind of just sticking stuff on the mirrors. Then I really wanted to add this bathtub, so I removed a stall to add that. I just absolutely love that bathtub from the Strangerville pack. And then of course I added some plants from the plant kit. I was trying to play around with the different plants to see if any would work, and then I just decided to move on to the trash can. And here I knew I wanted this kind of scientific do not disturb or enter door from the Get to Work pack. Because I really wanted this location to really reflect on some nerdy Sims. Like, I wanted this to be where all the nerds and geeks were going. So I implemented a lot of like comic books, a lot of science related things. And then I had a tough time deciding on the doors I wanted, because I know these different rooms are going to be very different areas, so I wanted the doors to reflect that. But I kind of added these as placeholders until I decide what all I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to do the juice station so that the kids can make their own juice and kind of experiment with making different things. And here I decided to add those garage doors that you can actually paint on, which I think is really cool. Then I knew I wanted to implement a bowling alley into this build. Because going in this, like, I never built a bowling alley after getting the bowling pack, and I absolutely love the stuff from the bowling pack. I love the 70s style stuff, so I really wanted to build a bowling alley, so it has a bowling alley. And I'm really happy with how it turns out. Just wait. And here I'm trying to decide on the door that would really look good with it. I have a bit of a hard time deciding, but eventually I find one that looks really cool. Like that one. Yes, I like how that one looks like it's a little bit like lit up from, I think it's from the Dine Out pack. And I knew I liked those run down punching bag things, so I kind of just set them in there. And here I'm playing around with the different carpets, and I know I want some carpet area and the rest wood. So I kind of play with the different woods. But eventually I do my little checkering effect. I absolutely love that effect. It just brings out so much texture in the build. And of course I have to go with the signage there, and all the lights from the Spa Day pack. Those look so cool. And the neon lights from the Messino pack, I think that it was. And I was thinking about doing these lights from the Parenthood pack all the way down, but they didn't really fit. And I knew I wanted to implement that light somewhere. I was trying to decide if there should be like a ceiling light somewhere around this room, but I think I ultimately decide that it just looks the best dim with a little bit of neon lights and stuff. And I knew I wanted to implement a bar into this. I know this is for teens, but I felt like they needed a place to get like food and drinks while they're playing games. And I really love this bar from the Strangerville pack. I love how it looks thrown together, so I go with that one, even though the bowling pack does come with its own bar, but that one just looked a little too well put together, so I decided to go with the one from Strangerville to make it look really thrown together and grungy. And I decided to play with the different flooring from the Get Famous pack and try to make this place look a little more grungy, a little more thrown together, like it's just been there for so long. And I love how this flooring turns out. I contemplated keeping it checkered like this, but I ultimately decided to just go with the same color but with the different directions of the tiles. But then for the actual bowling alley, I decided to go with the one direction. Then I finally implemented the wallpaper, which really brings the whole room together. And of course I wanted my bowling Hall of Fame, and I like these skateboards, so I put them in the main hallway. And I knew I wanted to implement all the neon lights I could in this room, and of course the pipes too. And I thought these barrels kind of looked cool, but it didn't really fit what I was going for, so I just kept playing around with different decorations. And I like that sign so that the bar had its own like actual kind of branding. And I like this sign, but it didn't really fit well anywhere, so I ended up not going with that. And here I'm just trying to find more neon lights. Then I found the bar shells, which look really cool. Well, I spent quite a long time trying to find more LEDs that look like the parrot one on the glass and the little cup of coffee, but I couldn't find any more that looked like that, and it was really bothering me how I wanted them to be centered, but they didn't really fit, because I need another one on the other side. And then of course I added the bowling sign on the outside there. Then I wanted that hazard sign, looked awesome. Then the exit sign for the door. And yeah, here I'm just trying to find more neon signs that would suit the other ones, but I really struggled to find any. And I really like these shiny things, and that just looks so pretty with that neon light. And I like these fire neon signs, so I decided to add them to the top of the shells. And I think that looks really cool. I'm kind of just playing around with different things. I was wondering if I should implement more of those shiny curtains, but I decided not to. I'm just trying to find more stuff to go in the middle to fill out that bar. So I really wanted to look unique. I wanted it to look awesome and pleasing look. And then I found the menu, which looks so cool. And I was playing around with placing neon lights on top of the menu, and I like the cup there. I kind of just placed the parrot to the side, and I think it looks alright. And then I added that trash can from Snowy Escape. And then the time came to furnish the rest of this room, and I knew I wanted a place for the Sims to sit, and I really liked the Batu bar booth seats, so I went with those. But I didn't realize that there wasn't like a straight back piece, so I had to go with the one from Dine Out. But I think it worked out because I was able to place the Bowling Hall of Fame photos like right there, and it just really blends in. And I was trying to play with different colors, but only the reds would match up, so I kind of just went with that. And then I love these light up wall room dividers from, I think also it was from Dine Out, I believe, or is it from Get Together? I think it's from Get Together. And then of course I had to add the bowling balls, and I was really struggling to decide where I want to put those, and then I was like, oh, this is a nice place to put bowling balls. Like as soon as you walk through the door, you grab the ball and you go. And then of course the shoe rack, and I was just playing with the different colors, trying to get them to match up. And of course I love the really colorful shoe thing. I just think it looks so cool, especially if it's dim. Then of course, keeping to my industrial theme, I decided to add some more piping and stuff, and it just looks really cool. I just wanted each room to look unique, but I wanted to also tie it in with the rest of the build. And I found this, that drink case, but I felt like it didn't really fit after what I built, so I decided not to go with that. Oh, and then I found that stolen ATM, which I just think looks so awesome. Almost like it's just a broken ATM that was thrown in this abandoned building. And of course those lights from the bowling pack. I really want to make sure I use a lot of bowling pack items in this room because I just love the aesthetic. And of course I had to get my Bowling Hall of Fame little case there, and then the rug, and of course the clock over the trash can. And I really wanted to implement the gold, bronze, and silver bowling balls, so I found the side table and put those on there, and then I sized down that arrow sign and moved that poster over and just made a little display area. And then I decided to I was trying to decide on what coffee table suited this area. I had a lot of trouble deciding on a coffee table for this area. Like I knew I wanted it to suit the 70s vibe of the bowling room, but at the same time I wanted it to look run down and almost like it was just something thrown in there. Yeah, I think I decided to go with that glass one there. I think that just looks really good. And I was trying to decide if some kind of light would go with that, but that table light doesn't really suit there. And I was trying to decide if those shiny curtains would go well on those room dividers, but you couldn't really see them, so I ended up not going with those. And sorry if you hear my cat. She's playing. And I thought about adding a whole theater area, but I really wanted to focus on the nerd aspect of this build. So this room becomes an epic gaming room. Like, I wanted to go with an arcade style and just make it look really awesome. I thought about adding a karaoke area, but again, didn't really tie into my arcade style, so I love this desk. I think you unlock it from, is it the programming career, I think? And yeah, I decided to build this whole arcade room based on that. And I had a hard time deciding on the gaming PCs because I really like those ones from I like those PCs, but I didn't like that they were green and that the desks were red. And I didn't want to go with Christmassy vibes. And I thought about going with these Badu tables to make it really look thrown together, but I couldn't really find a computer that suited those tables. So I thought about just making it look really old, but then, And I think here I finally decided to change the lot type because I realized I had it on residential, and I decided to go with lounge. Just that it was a place, the Sims went to kind of hang out, so that lounge kind of suited it. So I end up going back to the kind of epic desk, but I'm trying to decide if any other desk look good, but I end up going with those ones, and I think it works out in the end. Eventually it looks okay. Of course, the TV and the gaming console, and then I love those servers. Just make it look like this gaming room is really demanding a lot of technology. And then of course the arcade games. I wish there was more arcade games. I think that would be amazing to build an arcade. And I thought about implementing the galaxy laser lights, but I wasn't sure how those worked, so I decided not to go with those. And I just added another arcade machine there. And I was trying to see if there was anything else kind of gaming related, but there really isn't that much gaming stuff. And then I experimented with making this whole back room just a juice station with those juice chugging or keg things, but I eventually changed my mind on all those. Then the wallpapers, I really like the shininess of that one, but I wanted something a little more loud, a little more epic. And the Moschino one ends up really working for it. Yeah, the red just ends up looking so cool, and I changed the color of that arcade machine. And of course, playing around with the different flooring. I knew I liked this carpet, and the blue just looked really good. I was trying to play around with making the carpet look really run down and gross, but well, I almost forgot about the chairs for the gaming tables, but I got those in. And then I decided to add a whole bunch of posters around the room. You know, just science posters, music posters, movie posters, the Void Critters posters, you know, anything that just looks slightly nerdy. I just wanted to implement into this room. As if the kids just brought their own posters from home and just plastered them onto the wall. When I was playing around with lights and I decided I really like the purple lights. I just wanted this room to look like also dimly lit, but lit by like colored lights and neon lights, and I kind of just wanted this to be a space that kind of messed with your mind when you walk into it. Then you get out to the real world and you're just blinded by the sun. Your mind's all foggy. I was trying to decide on the door for this, but I decided to just go with the same archway as the entrance. I felt like that suited it really well. And then I was trying to kind of pile up all the keg stations, but then I decided to just go with the one. And I also wanted to implement the clown painting because I really want to play with the clown in my gameplay. Like, I want to play with all of the special Sims, like the Reaper, Clown, all of them. I really want to play around with. And I had a hard time deciding on tables for this room. Originally I thought about going with these ones from the new little campers kit, but they didn't really go. And then I went back to the Batu booth table or chairs, and those look really good with this. And then of course I go with the Batu tables because those suit those seating areas the best. And yeah, I just wanted this room to really be the kind of area that you eat in and that you just kind of pretty much hang out in. And then I remember those pool decals that are kind of light up, and I added them absolutely everywhere in the bowling room, and they just look so cool. And then placing these ones really did something to my eyes because getting them to line up was a bit of a hassle, and just focusing on those little lines just did something to my brain. I was all foggy for a minute after doing those and staring at them for so long. Unfortunately, they wouldn't just snap in the middle there, so I had to place each one individually. I love how this turns out. This took quite a minute, but it was worth it because it looks awesome. And of course I had add another row to the outside, and it just looks so good. And those lights would look cool in other colors, but I decided I just like the white with mine. Then I wanted to add some wood flooring under the gaming tables, kind of break that carpet up because the pattern of the carpet's a little bit much. And then I added the pool decals there too. And just that really ties it together. And I decided to add this kind of grate thing under the bathtub. Kind of looked like it was opening up to the sewer. And I added the big void critter card rugs to the gaming room. Then of course I added the cupcake factory because I honestly never played with the cupcake factory before, so I really wanted to try that out. And then I wanted to add a little almost kitchen area where the kids could kind of throw food together if they were kind of hiding from school life or whatnot. They could just go down there and basically live in this area or this build. And then there's a little microwave, there's an ice cream machine, popcorn, a little fridge. And I ended up adding an island area where they could sit and eat. And again, I go with the Batu chairs that I think really suit this room too. I'm going with the industrial counters. They just look awesome. I really dig the grungy industrial look. And then I really like that room divider from the new wedding pack. I think those really suited it. And then of course I had to add the piping in the middle of the room. Then I was trying to decide on a centerpiece for those tables, and I thought about doing the little plant one in the skull, but I eventually changed those. And then of course adding the signage in the front, and I had to add that shelf. And I thought about adding the condiments on the tables, but I decided to move them to the counter and just add those little flowers. I think those look really cute there. And I really like this bookcase, but I wanted a functional bookcase to be under the clown, so I ended up moving that one aside. And I just add more science-y decorations and more decorations that make sense for the kitchen area. And here I switch out I move that bookcase aside, now the industrial bookcase. And then I add that, what is it, the card table from Batu. I don't know how to pronounce the word. And I don't mind this being almost a Star Wars, have Star Wars kind of themed stuff, because this is a hideout for nerds, so it kind of makes sense for it to have Star Wars themed stuff. And then I ended up playing around with the rugs, and I really like the grate under the sink there. And of course I had to go with a Batu flooring. And then the final area, well, actually no, it's not the final area of the build. The final area of the basement of this build. But so I move around all the rugs, so I really like that red rug in the middle there. And then I really like this tarp, and I thought I liked the camo color, but I ended up changing it later because I didn't really like it. And then I realized that I had to add a instrument and mic to the lounge, so I added those in. This kind of corridor is going to be the sort of performance area of this build. I kind of just come down to the basement, and the kind of performance area is just right there, right in the middle of it, probably in everybody's way, but and here I'm kind of just looking over the build, seeing if I wanted to change anything else, and then I decided to change the tarp color, and then I decided to move that performance thing downstairs so that keep the performance downstairs. Then I added the dance floor upstairs, and here I'm just adding random chairs to kind of make it look like, it's very random, like almost like the teens just brought whatever they could from home and just placed them on the lot. I just absolutely love it. I absolutely love the crate and the pillows from the little campers kit. That kit came with a lot of good stuff. And I'm trying to decide if I need more chairs in there, but I don't think that many Sims really attend performances, so I think that's fine there. If it's not, they can just stand. And here I'm just admiring my work, basically. And then, of course, I changed the name, and I add the lot traits. I did fast internet, the communal, and teen hangout. And later on, I actually moved this lot to the Evergreen Harbor world because I feel like that world really complemented this build really well with the industrial look. So I ended up adding the landfill lot trait too. Then here I am adding a whole garden area. Originally I thought it was just going to be the building and that I was just about ready to be done with it, but then I was like, but it'd be so awesome to have a whole garden area too. So I decided to go with a whole garden area that kind of looks like a junkyard. And there I had to move some things down because it was clipping through the ground. I probably could have made the walls in the basement longer, but I don't know if that works, but whatever. So I added those industrial fences, the lockable gate, and I added some dirtiness and got my kind of terrain painting pants back on. I just did this all the way around to make it look like I just wanted it to look dirty, like it's been there for a long time. And of course I'm adding some dirt, making it look like it's been used a lot, like it hasn't been kept up, and it's just dirty, and a lot of water kind of piled up and just ruined the grass. And then I'm trying to decide on what I want to do for the garden. I really wanted to place these wall decorations on this fence, but for some reason the fence on that side of the building is not working. So then I added those grates on the other side because I really like them for some reason. They don't serve a purpose, but they look cool, so I placed them. Then I decided to place those wood slats from Snowy Skate there on the fences, almost like the fence, kind of like pretending the fence is run down and they tried to board it up. And I thought about doing this all the way around the build, but I decided, no, I'll make the rest of the fences look a bit different. And I tried to implement the piping on the fence, but that didn't work either. And I really like the awnings on the fence. I thought that looked really cool, almost like just random sheets of metal were thrown on top of the fence or something. And I want to play with different greenery and I tried to experiment with making a little roof on that fence, and I ended up not really liking it. I just like the one side of it. And then I decided to put the awnings under the windows. They don't serve a purpose, but I really liked how they looked. Then I decided to add different ones to the other side just to give it a different look. That's because I didn't want it to look very symmetrical. I wanted it to look like it was very thrown together. I just love the rusty look and the paint's been chipped off, and this looks awesome. And then I decided to play around with different fencing to see if that would look good, but I ended up just keeping the industrial fence all the way around because it just looked the best, in my opinion. I thought about adding the one with the wiring. I thought it would look cool if that was just completely blocked off, but I like the full fence around. I just decided to add a whole bunch of decorations to it, so I kind of broke up the thing. Then I was trying to see if I could turn off snapping in the game options, but apparently not. So I just had to grin and bear it and precisely place everything. But I thought it would look so cool to have these flower wall decorations on the fence. And I thought about sizing them up to make them easier to place, but it ended up looking a little fake, so I kept the small versions. I'm really just playing around with placement, trying to get it to fit right. Admittedly, this took me a hot minute to do. That seems to be a theme with this build, is it takes me a minute. But I'm also not really used to, doing this detail of a build, because normally, I don't normally play The Sims for a long time. This is kind of the first time that I have a nice family going, and it's just really exciting for me, so I just started building some stuff. And then of course I wanted plenty of gardening stuff, kind of give the teens a chance to work on their gardening. Then I couldn't remember how many different bugs there were with the little bug cases. So I just ended up doing 3 there. Then I did a flowering arrange table, the bees. Then of course I had to add the new fire pit from the little campers, and I added the recycle machine. And I was just trying to decide on more outdoor activities that they could do, and I started adding the different chairs. And I really wanted each chair to have different colors, like it was real, like they're just from different places or different sets, and they just nothing matches, and it looks amazing. And I knew I wanted there to be a. Well, I did add the grill. I added the barrel grill, so the kids could have barbecues. And I really wanted there to be a nice sitting area out here for them to have, cookouts. And I like the table from City Living, the one that looks like it's all painted. But it doesn't look like it's crisply painted. It looks like it was like hand painted and that it's old and really thrown together and run down. And I'm just playing around with even more decorations, and I really like that sign, and then those decorations from Batu. I just really want to fill up this back, this garden area and make it look like it's, it has a lot going on, and I have a lot of space to fill. And I really like this archway from Batu, and I thought about putting it, in the fence, but I decided I liked it right there, so like you go into the garden, then you have to pass through that to get to the rest of the garden. And then I really like the idea of adding these cars and stacking them and making it look like it's a junkyard. I really like how all this came together. Thought about adding this black car, but I felt like it looked a little too nice. And I like these dead looking plants, and I thought about adding a train too, but as I sized that up, it didn't really look real or decent. And of course I had to go with the phone booth TARDIS, if you will. I thought about adding that overgrown fountain, but I felt like it looked a little too nice for this build. And then I really like this plain cockpit, but I ended up changing it later on, because when I moved this lot to the Evergreen Harbor, there wasn't a lot on that world that was big enough for this build, so I ended up having to get rid of the plain cockpit, but I think it still comes together really nicely in the end. And I love this broken sign. I kept playing with different placements of it, but I ended up liking it where I first put it. Almost like this place has a really long history of, maybe it was a business at one point before it was a warehouse. Of course, now I'm just adding a whole lot of plants around the place, making it look, this one look like it's overgrown kind of, but also like, the kids have been gardening a lot. Thought about adding the tire plants in the middle of the gardening plots, but I decided it didn't really look that great, or it didn't fit. And I'm just piling and piling and piling on the plants. And I love the look of the flowers around the Batu archway. And I love these kind of wall dividers with the plants. I thought those looked really cool on the fence. I love these plants from the garden kit. So I just added those around the fire pit. That fire pit is looking mighty cozy. I just keep on piling on plants. I love these wall decals too, to make it look like the plants are just hanging off the fence. And I really felt the need to break up those two pots that were about the same size, just make it look variant. Change color of the plants. Oh, and then off camera I added that tree and the centerpiece. I added that off camera while I was feeding my cats when I paused everything. Thought about adding the scarecrow, but he didn't really fit. And then I added the wash basin thing for decoration. I had a picnic basket, and then I realized that picnic basket opened, and I'm not sure why it opened, but I had the cooler, and then I found a whole bunch of stuff that looked really cool, so I started kind of pulling them out and setting them aside. And I added that cooler from the Little Campers kit. I thought about adding a bunch of vines, but I added some pillows by the fireplace. Then the new swing, I absolutely love that swing. I thought it looked really cool for my garden. I thought about adding this shelf. I really liked how it looked, kind of industrial, but it looked a bit too clean for this build, so I ended up not going with it. But I really like this side table thing, and then that wardrobe. I love how that wardrobe has some dirty looking swatches. I thought about adding some additional lighting to that area, but I really decided with this build I wanted to be a little bit grungy. Then I thought about adding these vents, and I was going to do vents all the way across here, but I didn't really like how that looked, so I ended up getting rid of it. Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much built so far. I decided to add even more decorations here with the gardening. Just make it look like a lot of people have been coming here and doing stuff for a long time. This lot could easily, or building could easily be a community lot too. And I decided to add that bonfire, and I added a little bike out front. And I was trying to decide if anything would look good in the front here. I thought about adding a basketball court, but it really didn't suit this build at all. So then I just ended up tucking in a weather control station thing, and yeah, this is pretty much what I did with it. Now I'm just overlooking everything, making sure nothing moved, and make sure everything looks good. I am really happy with how it turned out. Well, and then I also added those chairs in here off camera because I just felt like this area really needed a little bit of something more. Like, I just wanted the Sims to be able to go over there and do stuff. Or I guess just sit. And here I'm saving it. And then I moved it to Evergreen Harbor, and I had to move everything. And I actually had to do this twice because after I did this time that I recorded, I went to save and my game froze, and I ended up having to force it shut down and it didn't save, so I ended up having to move everything again. That was very stressful. But we get there in the end. And I think this world just suits this build so well. I meant to build it on this world in the first place because when I was walking around thinking about what I wanted to do for this build, I was like, oh, I was trying to decide what build to do where to build it, and I was like, oh, Evergreen Harbor would suit that really well. But then I ended up building it in Newcrest for some reason. But anyway, it comes together. I'm just sitting here. I definitely think moving it to Evergreen Harbor was definitely worth it because it just look how perfect it is here. Oh, it looks so good here. And I'm just doing one last check over the place to make sure it looks good. It's so beautiful, you and me. Oh, and then, yeah, because the lot was smaller, I had to adjust the bathrooms. And I had to get rid of another stall in that bathroom to keep my bathtub. But it's fine, we don't need a lot of toilets. Making sure nothing else got clipped, and yeah, I think it still looks really good. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Hope you guys liked it too. From a distance you can tell. To be